We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Hello and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marquez. This spooky season, if you like to laugh with your scares, we have the movie for you. Totally Killer is in theaters now from the producers of the smash hit comedy Megan. Kiernan Shipka plays a teenager who time travels back to the 80s, Back to the Future style, with a slasher Scream-style twist in the new movie Totally Killer.
I'd like to report a crime that hasn't happened yet. Have you seen the movie Back to the Future? Basically, I'm living that movie right now, which is how I know there's gonna be a murder tonight.
Hate time travel movies. They never make any sense.
It's directed by Nahnatchka Khan, who was behind the hit show Fresh Off the Boat and the romantic comedy Always Be My Maybe.
I thought this was a high-end restaurant. Why am I the only one wearing a tux?
Oh, sorry. I should have told you. Rich people are done with fancy clothes. Now it's all $1,000 t-shirts that look like they were stolen off the homeless.
We need more rom-coms.
I agree. We need more Randall Park and Ali Wong and Keanu Reeves and everything.
Yes. Oh my God, the best.
So where's your man?
Oh, there he is. Going from comedy to horror was a natural fit.
Happy Halloween.
How about we all stay in and hand out Halloween candy?
No, Mom.
You know how hard this time of year is for us. Your friends were murdered 35 years ago. It's not 1987 anymore.
Stay safe, honey. I love you.
Comedy and horror are such great partners in that. It's like something Nahnatchka would always say to us is like a joke and a scare kind of have the same construction, you know? And so like pairing those two things together, it's just like the most natural marriage.
80s weed sucks. This is just dirt. Look at all these twigs. I could give you a gummy this big that has 100 times more weed than this.
Love the 80s, was a child in the 80s as well. And like, I love the idea that I'm able to go back with this movie and take like a Gen Z person from 2023 and have her go back and like comment on the stuff that I just had to like grin and bear and like take for granted. Like that was a normal existence, but she could be like, you can't do that. Like you can't, what's going on?
And since you are an incredible writer, who were your favorite reads when you were younger? For me, it was like Babysitter's Club.
Oh my God, totally. You know, I loved the Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Oh my God, I was obsessed with it. And I think like, it's weird talking about this time travel movie too, because it's like to be able to go back and change a book, you know, because the book just felt so finite. And so like, I mean, obviously written, but like the idea is the reader having agency and being like, turn to page, whatever, turn to page, you know, being able to make choices. I was obsessed with, I made every choice of every single book.
Excuse me, what year is it?
1987.
Oh my God, I know.
The 80s are almost over and I haven't even tried yet. I don't know.
It's on Prime Video now. Judy Garland and Cary Grant, just two of the famous names buried at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, but furry friends were the guests of honor to screen a movie about undead animals. Pet Sematary Bloodlines is now streaming on Paramount Plus. I'm taking you to the graveyard for an event that was anything but scary. The DJ was spinning, the drinks were flowing, the folks and their furry friends were picnicking. Hollywood Forever Cemetery was full of life for an advanced screening of Pet Sematary Bloodlines. But once the sun went down on the Fairbanks lawn, the lights went up with the movie. Set in 1969, a young couple gets ready to leave their small-town life behind to join the Peace Corps. But before they can even make it out, they encounter an ancient evil that has gripped the entire town. Director Lindsay Anderson Beer says there are some tender moments.
I know fans will be coming for the scares and the gore, and there's plenty of that, but some of my favorite moments are just the more quiet moments with family and friends too. Like there's a beautiful scene between Manny and Donna in the sunflower fields where she's just trying to get him to have some confidence and leave Ludlow. There are little moments like that between characters that I love.
The hell is that?
And while Pet Sematary is infamous for being packed with possessed animals, this special screening raised money for Wags and Walks, a nonprofit dog rescue in West LA.
We have about 130 dogs in our care. and we've rescued almost 12,000 dogs to date. So our philosophy is family-friendly dogs, not worrying about age or breed or size or any of that, with a soft spot for pit bulls like Jericho here.
The people built the pet cemetery to protect them from evil.
Now stop this. I held him the day he came into this world, and I'm going to hold him the day he goes out.
On Paramount Plus now. Meanwhile, hitting theaters this month are a pair of other scary movies that bookend some A-list celebrities.
You have some experience with possession.
Yes, more than I'd like.
The Exorcist Believer gets October off to a scary start. The direct sequel to 1973's The Exorcist brings Ellen Burstyn back to her role as Chris McNeil. The first movie in a planned trilogy of films was originally slated to open Friday the 13th, but was scared off that date by our next October release.
This has been the most extraordinary experience of my entire life.
Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, has racked up more than $100 million in advance ticket sales more than a week before the concert film debuts. The Eras Tour opens Friday, October 13th at 8,500 theaters in 100 countries.
The Osage, their time is over. We got to take back control of our home.
Based on a true story, Killers of the Flower Moon stars Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's adaptation of the nonfiction book about the murders of wealthy Osage tribe members after oil is found on their land.
Have you met them yet?
Met who?
Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddie.
October began on a scary note and ends on another with Five Nights at Freddy's. Based on the popular video game, Freddy's stars the Hunger Games' Josh Hutcherson as an overnight security guard in a pizzeria with haunted animatronics. My 7-year-old son cannot wait for that movie because he plays the video game nearly every day. Country music superstar Darius Rucker is out with his newest album. Carolyn's Boy is his first album in 6 years. Carolyn is his late mother, who he says believed in him when nobody else did. Jan Crawford sat down with him at his home in Nashville to reflect on his career and why he feels this is his most personal work yet.
No regrets, don't forget to have a good time.
His voice is one of music's most recognizable.
Have a good time.
A distinctive sound that goes back more than 30 years to one of the top pop groups of the 90s.
Just let her cry.
But after the record label lost interest in Hootie and the Blowfish, Darius Rucker went solo and made music history.
You know, even when I went to country, most people were saying this is never ever going to work.
Never going to work.
Never.
Never been done. No one goes over from pop.
Yep. No one comes over from pop, and the black guy's going to come over from pop. This is not going to work. But that's always been fun to prove people wrong.
History in the making.
Prove people wrong, he did. 15 years ago, Rucker's first country album debuted at #1. Since then, he's had 10 #1 country singles. And his take on Wagon Wheel is one of the top 5 best-selling country songs of all time.
Did you ever doubt yourself?
No, I never doubt my talent.
But what happens when you keep hearing no, no, no over and over? How do you keep going?
I don't hear no.
You don't?
You might say no, but I don't hear it.
There's always music everywhere.
Rucker traces that confidence to here, Charleston, South Carolina.
And it looks the same?
It's exactly the same.
Nearly a decade ago, he took us to his childhood home, where he grew up one of 6 kids, raised by his single mother, a nurse named Carolyn.
She believed in you?
She believed in me, more than I believed in myself.
What would she say?
Oh, all the time. She told me all the time, you're going to make it. You're going to live your dream. I know you are. I can't wait. I can't wait. How big is my house going to be? I can't wait. Yeah.
Does that ever get to you that you never got to buy her that big house?
All the time.
Carolyn died in 1992 of a heart attack, 2 years before Hootie and the Blowfish released their album that would become one of the top 10 best-selling studio albums of all time.
When I got the record deal, I just sat down and started crying because I knew I was never going to be able to share that with her. And there was nobody in the world I wanted to share that with more than her.
Because she was always with you.
She would have been so proud. She would have been so proud.
You soothe my soul like an old church hymn. Amen.
Rucker's 8th studio album, Carolyn's Boy, is a tribute to his mother.
My mom was always smiling. She was always laughing.
The idea for the record came to him during the pandemic.
I know it's been about 30 years since I heard from you. I was a little depressed. I just wasn't happy with anything. And I sat down and I said to myself, well, at the end of the day, I'm just my mama's boy. It kind of made me feel a little better, and I said to myself, I'm going to name the record Carolyn's Boy.
And what does that mean to you, to say that?
I really hope at the end of the day, I'm the man that she tried to raise.
That's a man who fights for what is right. Rucker recalls in 1969 his mother went on strike in Charleston with other black hospital workers for fair pay.
She was standing up for herself and standing up for her colleagues.
Since the beginning of his career, Rucker has also taken a stand, being upfront about the racism he's endured, something he feels is even more important as a proud father of 3. On this album, Rucker writes about finding common ground.
Ain't no doubt we can figure it out again.
But division is now front and center in country music. Last month, Maren Morris announced she's leaving the genre. Rucker says he respects her and her choice, but he's taking a different path.
I'm not going to leave. I'm going to make it better.
How do you do that?
I don't know. Keep working and keep being me. I'm just a kid from Charleston, and I sit back and I go, this is unbelievable. I remember the Grand Ole Opry.
And by being himself, Rucker is opening doors for others.
Somebody said to me, they were like, Kane and those guys never happen if I don't have 3 number ones.
That's true.
The diversity of country music is getting better. We're out there selling records. We're putting butts in the seats. We need, we're not just a lily white industry anymore.
I never made sense to me till I made sense to you.
Rucker says his own success is a testament to the change.
When they were saying my audience won't accept a black country singer, it was like, you can't be speaking for all of your audience. And I'm sure there's people that don't accept me as a country singer, but obviously most people do. And that's how I see it. I just don't argue with them, just prove them wrong.
Show them.
Show them.
You did.
I did. I'm very proud of the last 16 years of my life.
What about the 15 or 16 before that?
Those are pretty awesome.
Jan Crawford in Nashville, Tennessee.
They planning to target you, and they're gonna try to use you to do their bidding. So, watch.
She left Big Brother with a bang. Nicole is the latest house guest kicked out of the Big Brother house. We go one-on-one. Grab your rosaries and your holy water. The Exorcist is resurrected after 2 decades. So did it make a believer out of movie critic Grae Drake? She lets us know when we come back.
You have some experience with possession.
Yes, more than I'd like.
It's double trouble in The Exorcist Believer in theaters now. 2 friends disappear in the woods, only to return with no memory of what happened, but they brought back something evil with them. Ellen Burstyn returns to her iconic role. Emmy nominee Ann Dowd joins the cast, as well as Oscar nominee Leslie Odom Jr. of Hamilton fame, playing a concerned father. His daughter is played by Lydia Jewett of Hidden Figures and Black Panther fame. Her friend is newcomer Olivia Markham, who starred in Matilda. And movie critic Grae Drake saw the movie. I'm a huge fan of The Exorcist. Does it deliver with the scares?
It delivers in a lot of Easter eggs for the first Exorcist movie. And I wasn't personally scared because I think that tells you what a dark, scary black soul I have.
Yes.
But there's a lot to like in this because David Gordon Green obviously is a big fan of The Exorcist, and you can't get away from how creepy it is when little girls are showing up and like just staring at you.
Yes.
And it's always upsetting. So
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. And like I said, the surprises in this one are really what made it worth it for me.
Okay, good, because it does take me back to my childhood.
Police arrived at the home. Had committed these murders during an exorcism. You start wondering, is it in my genes? Am I gonna flip out one day?
All right, now this movie is your pick to watch now.
Over on Paramount Plus, a very unholy pick over there, is a found footage movie. Remember those? They were very like happening at one time. And
Blair Witch Project.
Exactly. And so a young girl has had a really traumatic situation with her mother. Her mother was theoretically possessed. During her exorcism, she actually killed 3 members of the clergy.
Oh,
okay. Right. Very traumatic. And when she gets older, she decides to find out what really happened, see if she can complete that exorcism, and what she gets is a lot more than she bargained for, as per usual. And so this one is very unsettling.
Okay, so that one you want to turn on the lights when you go to bed. Right. Okay, great. You have one more pick for us.
The Last Exorcism Part 2. Okay, so this is a sequel. So in the first one, we've got this character named Nell, played by Ashley Bell. She's been through a lot. It's a whole cult thing with a whole exorcism thing. And where this movie picks up is that Nell has no memory of what's happened, but she's trying to like pick up the pieces of her life, figure out what in the heck is going on, and she's in New Orleans. Things are going okay. She finds herself a job, a guy that she's kind of into, and then strange things start happening that are bringing back pieces of her memory of what really happened to her in the last film. It is so chilling. And Ashley Bell is like exactly the actress that you want to see possessed. It's a weird thing to say.
Right? It's not what I expect for her.
Right. Her eyes in this movie, I'm fixated, and I was really excited to find this one streaming because I think that Ashley Bell is a very underrated actress, and she's a great addition to this genre for sure.
Well, there's so many movie sets where they've done like a blessing by a priest, and they've had sage come to the stage. Is this the kind of location you see this happening?
I absolutely do, for sure. Yeah, because there's so many questions. Who's on her side? What's going on? Who can she trust? And how much sage can we truck in is basically how that all wraps up. And so this one is really about mood, just like good exorcism movies always are. And definitely Exorcist Believer is.
Oh.
Mood for days to get you in the mood for spooky season for sure.
Oh, I love it. And you had Rosemary's Baby picked out a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So you're on a roll. We both have dark hearts.
I'm a creepy gal too, yeah. We're
right there with you, babe. Thank you so much, Grae. And we're taking you from scary movies to stars visiting haunted places.
Guys, if you can hear me on Sharon's mic, she's in some kind of catatonic state.
Most people run from a haunted house, but not Jack Osbourne. He settles in for a night of terror with his family. A look at his new show next.
Hey. Mom? Mom? Hey, lights on, now.
His dad, Ozzy, is known as the Prince of Darkness. Now, Jack Osbourne goes in search of the paranormal. In his new Travel Channel series, he spends the night in haunted locations, along with his mom, Sharon, which led to a real-life scare when the crew had to call 911 for Mom.
I really enjoy bringing friends and family to the scariest places I can find.
I grew up watching The X-Files. That was like my favorite show ever. Die-hard fan.
kind of planted a seed for my interest in the fringe, the paranormal, the unexplained.
Jack Osbourne's Night of Terror opens with an episode set at the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California.
So I'm bringing my mother, Sharon Osbourne, to a stately inn that hides a dark history of death. With what happened to my mom during episode 1, that is something that I wasn't prepared for.
Lights on, now. We need an ambulance now. I'm just trying to keep our airway open. Hey, breathe. Mom, breathe.
1 minute she was totally fine, and the next, she's in the back of an ambulance, having experienced some, by all accounts, unexplained phenomenon.
Everything you shouldn't do in a horror movie, we're about to do.
I can earnestly say with a hand, you hand me any holy manuscript, I'll put my hand on it. We do not fake anything. We do not bolster evidence. We do not play around. There's no special effects department to this production. We're really bare bones, and kind of what you see on camera is what we got.
Be careful, Jack.
And don't go anywhere on your own.
The series runs through October with future episodes set in Illinois and Nevada. Big Brother house guest Nicole played it cool all season, but on her way out, the Ice Queen showed her fire. She called out 3 house guests who she sees as the real hidden threat.
Before I go, I just got to tell y'all know Corey, America, and Bowie got an alliance. They planning to target you, and you, and they're going to try to use you to do their bidding. So watch. Don't let him run out with his money off y'all hard work. Because he can't put in no work. You know they can't win nothing. So that's all I got. Have fun, y'all!
Did you plan to do what you did when you were exiting the house?
I absolutely plan to do that. I didn't want to have it to be part of my final speech because, I really wanted to shut up my husband and my mom. But I knew that I planned to take some shots and cause some drama before I left the house. All week, people have been saying, we just don't know where you stand, Mimi. Your cards are so close to your chest. We don't know what you would do next. And that was always a concern for people. So I figured, hey, what do I have to lose? You guys have everything to lose, but I don't. So fight to the death.
So now that you have left the house, have you been thinking about what you could have done differently? Any regrets?
Yeah, hindsight is 20/20, and obviously I know that I could have played a lot more aggressively in this game. I could have done a lot more strategizing and masterminding and puppeteering that I'd seen happening in the house. But in my line of work, working in politics, that is not always the most ideal situation to be in. It can be very threatening because politics is very fragile, as is the Big Brother house. And as soon as people find a reason for targeting you, whether that it's because you're a strong competitor or that you're seen as a strategist, they will use that as justification to get you out of the house. So, my strategy was to be low key. And I can't say that I necessarily regret it, but I probably do some things differently if I could.
Who really grinds your gears this morning?
Oh, if there's anybody that I could off right now, if I won HOH and I would put anybody on the block, it'd definitely be Jag, and I'd sit him next to Matt. For me, going into this week, had I stayed in the house and obviously won HOH, I was never going to go through with the idea of putting Cameron on the block because that's what the entire house wanted. Just like if I won HOH weeks back when the idea was to put Jared and Sari on the block, I was never actually going to do that. In my mind, I'm like, if you guys want them out, you better do it yourself. I wouldn't have done it. That week, had I won, I was going to put Matt and Jag on the block. And this week, if I won, I was going to put Matt and Jag on the block. They are both very well liked in the house. They have a great social game. They are also fierce competitors. And as it currently stands, they are not seen as the biggest threat. Cameron is seen as the biggest threat. So I'd have put them 2 on the block and used that as bait to align myself with Cameron and have him serve as a shield for me.
Don't forget to watch all new episodes of Big Brother Season 25 on CBS and Paramount Plus. Wednesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Suzanne Marquez. See you again next week on The Lot.